Well, it is in the books. A game that I've been calling for months now was going to be a game to keep your eye on. It could be a trap game. I said it from a while back. Georgia Tech beats Clemson in the third ball game of the year, hitting an incredible 55-yard field goal at the very end as time is expiring. Uh, Georgia Tech beats them 24-21. Georgia Tech is now 3-0 overall, 1-0 in the ACC. Clemson 1-2, 0-1 overall in the ACC. And Clemson faithful are really upset. My phone is blowing up with text. I expect to receive some really interesting comments after this, but I just want to say this. I am far from happy that Clemson lost this ball game. I am far from happy, but I want to tell you this. Georgia Tech is a good football team. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that Brent Key can coach, and I've been saying that Haynes King is one of the best workhorses in all of college football. So while Clemson is 1-2, and I'm far from thrilled, they're probably going to drop out of the top 25, as they should. You're 1-2. You shouldn't be in the top 25. The two best football teams that you've played so far, you lost to. On the other hand, a team that was not terrible, but they're definitely not Georgia Tech. They're not LSU. You struggled with them. You can't help for people in college football to say, hey, Clemson doesn't need to be in the top 25. All right. No matter how you Tiger fans feel about it, it's just the truth. Make it another team and you would agree. But because it's Clemson, you don't want to. But y'all are going to be shocked what I'm about to say. I think that's one of the best games Clemson has played in a while. I know you're sitting there thinking that I'm drunk or something. I know some of you are thinking that I've lost my mind. And I respond, it's hard to lose what you've never had. But my point is, Georgia Tech is a really good football team. Clemson's offense ran the ball very well and just some costly turnovers here and there, which, by the way, shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. You have to take care of the football at this level of play. But I am telling you that Clemson's offensive scheme for 3 quarters out of 4 was way better than what we've seen in a while. And unfortunately, they lost. That Georgia Tech football team is really, really good. And trust me, I hate that they lost. But congratulations to Georgia Tech and to their fans. And I had someone from the Georgia Tech world on here. In fact, I wanted to get back on here this week. My schedule's been kind of crazy. But we talked about Georgia Tech. We talked about this game, and this was way back in the summer. But where I'm agitated, I'm not thrilled that we lost the ball game whatsoever. Here's where I'm agitated, folks. The scheme for today, we didn't see that scheme against LSU. So, where was it? Well, you can't do that stuff to LSU. Okay, until someone does, and you're like, why didn't we try? Exactly. So, if other than losing the game on a walk-off field goal from 55 yards away to a good football team, the other frustration is, where was this offensive strategy against LSU? And by the way, we saw something like this in the third quarter last week against Troy, and then it went away. Where was it? I don't know. Who was calling plays? Why did they choose this game to run the vast majority of those plays? And for my personality type, that's where I really get hung up. You know, what's the old saying? Don't pee on my foot and tell me it's raining. That is where I'm at. Now, I want to say this again. I hate that Clemson lost. But this game does not bother me as much as, say, LSU. And you go, why? Because I saw Clemson's offensive strategy look way better. And there were mistakes, things that need to be cleaned up. Listen to me, folks. If you watch my show, you know who I am. And what I mean by that for people who are watching, like, who is this egotistical freak? No, I don't mean it that way. What I mean is, I've pissed off a lot of good Clemson fans and some bad ones too by saying, hey, this is unacceptable. This is terrible. This is blah, 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 blah. I'm not Mr. Glass half full. I'm Mr. Why don't you fill up my glass? That doesn't make sense. Why are we arguing about a half empty, half filled glass? So philosophical over a glass. Just fill it up. But this is the first time I've seen Clemson against a solid football team, a good football team, for the most part, have a pretty good offensive scheme, and we saw what it did. Again, I hate that Clemson lost. They are 1-2. I'm interested to see how Clemson responds after this, and they're now 1-2. And even though I'm happy to see the offensive production, I am verbalizing it. I said that if Clemson loses 3 regular season games this year, that it would be a catastrophic failure. I stand by that remark. I'm not backing away from that. It is a catastrophic failure. So that means Clemson, if they lose one more ball game, it would be seen as a catastrophic failure. Why? Because of the talent they've brought back. That they have the most experienced, if not one of the most experienced returning teams in all of college football. So, no, I'm not going to back down from that. But at the same time, I'll tell you that I saw an offense today that we haven't seen, an offense that would sustain long drives, an offense that would march the ball down the field, an offense that ran the ball a lot. We wouldn't run the ball against LSU. Why? Are we scared? Why are we afraid to run? Why were we afraid? Well, Harold Perkins. Folks, listen, Harold Perkins is fantastic. Those guys that play for them is fantastic. Wait till they go through, 75% of their SEC schedule, and then we can talk about how good they are. But for any of you fans who are really upset that Clemson's 1-2, I'm with you. They should not be 1-2. I'm sorry. The flip side to this is that Clemson's offense, if you watch Clemson football at all, Clemson football, their offense as a whole, their scheme has been not what it was today. It's just going to be very hard for people to see that because Clemson just lost on a walk-off field goal against what I think will end up being a pretty good football team when the dust settles. Now, let's just talk about a couple of stats really, really quick. All right. Just going to go through some things. The yardage was really close here on both sides. The difference, Clemson's 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception thrown. Okay. 17 first downs for Clemson, 18 for Georgia Tech. 7 of 12 on third down efficiency for Clemson, 8 of 15 for Georgia Tech. 381 total yards for Clemson, split up 207 in the air, 174 on the ground. Did you hear that? They rushed for 174 yards. Georgia Tech, 358 in the air, 358 total, 216 in the air, 142 on the ground. Clemson averaged 5 yards per carry. Rushed the ball 34 times. Clemson's defense allowed 3.3 per carry. Clemson was penalized twice for 25 yards, Georgia Tech 3 for 16. Clemson had the ball 27 minutes and 55 seconds. Georgia Tech had it for 32 minutes and 5 seconds. Cade threw for 207, 15 of 26. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Haynes King threw for 216, 19 of 27. Haynes King carried the ball 25 times for 103 yards. Adam Randall, 16 carries for 86. Wesco had an incredible day, 7 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Eric Rivers had 3 receptions for 72 yards. No one on Georgia Tech's side of the ball, I don't believe they had a sack, but Sammy Brown did have a sack. What does this come down to? Turnovers. That was it. 2 costly turnovers. And you can't do that in a game like this. So, Clemson, let's talk about Clemson and who they have coming up. Next week in the Valley, they're going to be playing a Syracuse team that's rebuilding, a team that went 10-3 last year. It lost a lot of talent. They're now being led by Steve Angeli, former Notre Dame backup quarterback. Then they'll be at North Carolina. Then they'll be at Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State, Louisville on the November the 14th. That's a Friday night. That's a weird one. And you have Furman and you have South Carolina, very last game of the year, 12 o'clock kickoff. Let's flip over to Georgia Tech and talk about who they have upcoming. Next week, they're going to play a Temple team that just got their head kicked in. Just got their head kicked in today. They'll play at Wake Forest. They'll get Virginia Tech. They'll play Duke, Syracuse. Then they play NC State, Boston College, Pittsburgh, and Georgia at the very end of the season. Now, hear me out. After watching Georgia Tech play, knowing their style, knowing what Brent Key can do you see Temple beating them? The correct answer, class, is no. At Wake Forest, no. Virginia Tech, no. Duke, no. Syracuse, no. NC State's playing better ball, but no. At Boston College, no. Pittsburgh, no. Georgia, that's the first real game that Georgia Tech will have to play is on November the 28th. Since this game will be the first big game they'll have to play. No Florida State, no Miami. Cristobal's happy about that, by the way. He doesn't feel like losing to them for a 3rd year in a row. No Louisville. Georgia Tech could very well walk into that Georgia game several weeks from now. Almost Christmas time. It's almost time for Ho-Ho to come. And could walk in there undefeated. Top 10 matchup, top 5 matchup. And that's just where it's at. So, again, Clemson fans, no, you should not be happy that Clemson is 1-2. But today was the first time we saw an offense that throughout the vast majority of the game, they actually moved the ball a lot, and the play calls were the best I've seen them in a while. And it was consistently throughout the game. So if you're not happy, I don't blame you. I'm not happy either. I'm not thrilled. Losing is not fun. Knowing that here's the sobering thought, that a lot of the talent that they have right now, they're not going to have next year. So if you're trying to look on the bright side of things and too much, just know that a lot of the players that you're seeing play for them right now, a lot of them, major positions too, will be gone next year. So it does beg the question, if not now, then when? Why? 1-2. This doesn't supposed to happen. This was not supposed to happen. A 1-2 start. Not at all. So if you're upset, I am too. But the thing I'm taking away is I have not seen if the offense. I'll make a prediction for you. If Clemson's offense plays the way it did 3 out of 4 quarters, we'll be fine the rest of this season. Will we win a national championship? No, I don't think. I even in the preseason when I was saying, "Hey, this could be a really special season," I didn't. I told you, "Hey, said I'm not talking about national championship. I'm going to have to see some stuff out of them." But if this team pulls it together and the offensive scheme is like it was for the last 3 quarters of the game, Clemson should be fine the rest of the season. They should be fine. They'll be all right. But I will tell you this: if we see any of this wishy-washiness going back and forth, and we see more turnovers like we saw today, which unfortunately did happen, did cost us a game, cost us points. They ended up costing us the win, the W. We'll lose 2 more games. And they'll, even with the offense, we're happy. I've given them the heads up here. I've given them the high five. It will be a catastrophic failure. And I don't blame people for being angry because it is irritating. So, hey, listen, there's over 400 of you in here live. So I just want to tell you, welcome to the channel. I love talking Clemson football. I'm this close to 8,000 subscribers on a channel that's only 3 years old. If you want to support the channel, you like people like me who are independent, I hope you'll subscribe. Remember, it's free. And I'd ask that you pass along to anyone else who loves Clemson football or loves talking about college football. Next up, I have another channel that I'm simulcasting on. It's on that channel now. The link is below, called Another College Football Podcast, where I talk about college football as a whole. I only started this channel less than 2 months ago. So I'm going to ask you to do something. Click out of my Clemson Football Live channel and go over to Another College Football Podcast. Go over there, drive the views up, and subscribe. That would be flipping awesome. If you want to support on a monthly basis, there's a join button below the video. $3 or $5. If you're like, oh, what's the difference between the $3 and the $5 tier? Well, one's 3 and one's 5. So there we go. Let's get into the comment section. I imagine this is going to be brutal. A lot of different emotions here. A lot of people in here. Lost to South Carolina. Hold up. Lost to FSU in South Carolina from Jason Wilkinson. This is let me see, a bunch of people are in here and it's just bouncing around. So y'all please forgive me. I can't listen to you no more, Brian. You way off critique on your critique. All right, I didn't say that I enjoyed losing freestyle. I just said that this was the best their offense has looked as a whole. Unfortunately, you lost the game. So I'm sorry, you can't listen to me. I'm just not going to trash people just to trash people. 2 things can be true at one time. We lost the game and it's awful. The other thing, the other side of the truth is that you shouldn't lose. You shouldn't have lost. You shouldn't be 1-2 right now. So anyway, bunch of people. There's just so many people in here I can't even get to. This season feels over as far as playoffs are concerned. I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for thinking that whatsoever. I don't blame you for feeling that way. I mean, it is what it is, you know? Let me get in here. Some more people. If I overlook you, I don't mean to. I really don't. Okay? Tiger Tom, did we finally get a glimpse? Or no, that clicked on the wrong one. This is moving so fast. This is a new software for me. Emory, you're right, Brian. It's sad how much talent is being wasted this season. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I will have to tell you that is sad. That is sad. And again, it does not answer my question. Why did we hold back on these plays against LSU? I can understand you chilling out on Troy. The LSU? The math just ain't mathing for me, and it bothers me. It really, really does does bother me. Got Grafnar. We got Grafnar in here. Thumbs up, people. Good to see you. Disney guy says bring back Jeff Scott. Football needs to go back to how it used to be. If the receiver doesn't drop the ball after reception, it should be a touchdown. Hamp Redman is ticked off. It's over. 7-win team, maybe. Let me see. A lot of people's mad at Cade. Let's see. Defensive doing their job. Here's the thing about Haynes King. Haynes King, imagine Haynes King is Lenora Sellers if Lenora Sellers was a better passer. And I know my Carolina fans aren't going to like that. But Haynes King can throw the ball better than Lenora Sellers. Sellers is bigger than Haynes King as far as weight. Okay? But I'm just saying it is what it is. Let me see. Dion Fleming said offensive coordinator wasn't the problem. Today, Cade is. Turned the ball over. They look a tad bit better towards the end of the game. Hang the banner. So funny. So funny. Some of you are really, really irritated. And I don't blame you. But hey, listen, if I am the one who comes on here and I'm the one who runs my mouth about certain things about Clemson, and I have half the Clemson community turned against me because I'm too pessimistic, and then I come in here and say, "Hey, listen, I hate losing." Blah 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 blah. The offensive scheme was way better today than it's been, and that was actually against a good football team, folks. Trust me, I'm ticked that we lost. I am ticked that we're 1-2. I'm asking the question: where was that against LSU? That's a question you should be asking. And you're too mad not to. But you should. Riley ain't the one. Tom Allen is an effective sitting in the booth. Dabo doesn't have control of his team. Cade has not improved. Some tough words from Roger Parks. I don't blame you for being upset, my friend. I don't blame you for being irritated. It's tough. It's tough to sit and watch this. I'm just telling you, it is really, really tough to do that. And when you know that the talent is there and that eligibility has been wasted, it is tough. I get it. Tons of comments are in here, folks. This may be the cue that I need to get a new software, because this is a new software and the other one was just like driving me crazy. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try this other one, but transparently, I just don't like this. I just don't like this one as much as the other one, because it's kind of all over the place. I think JT Brown actually donated to the channel $10. It passively went by and now it's gone. I'm not going to sit here and just rumble on about that. So I'm, about how bad the software is. But thank you, JT Brown. JT Brown, thank you for supporting the channel and for giving a donation to the channel of $10. I appreciate it. Closing thought. We lost. It's awful. We're underperforming overall on the season. We're already 1-2. You've played two good football teams. You've lost to both of them. You almost lost to an okay football team who can play up at times, but they're definitely not Georgia Tech or LSU. So if you're mad right now, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. In the hopes of this season, here's where I pause. I believe in looking at history as a whole, as a collective, and base decisions on that. Now, recent history would be technically this game against Georgia Tech. The last 3 quarters of the football game, Clemson's offensive strategy was pretty doggone good. And I think had we ran that against LSU, may have won the ball game because we just ran the football. We didn't even run the football against LSU. They even admitted, hey, we didn't. we knew they were not going to try to run against us, which makes you one-dimensional, and it makes it easy to call defense against you. All right, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy we're wasting eligibility. With that said, recent history would be today's game, but I'm going to take history as a whole. That Clemson's going to go back conservative on their offensive play calling, and they're going to have to prove me wrong by not doing it for the rest of the season. There you go. You want the old pessimistic Brian? There you go. Here I am. Clemson proved me wrong. Offensive play calling proved me wrong. Call brilliant plays every game for the rest of the season. And that will be the way that Clemson salvages this season. Win a national championship? No. Even 3 weeks ago, I was sitting there going, they're going to have to show me a lot before I even talk about a national championship. But it could be special. It could be a special season. So if you've heard anything out of my mouth other than that, and I just verbalized exactly what I'm saying, that the offensive play calling is better in those last 3 quarters, I know you're mad that we lost in short, and I am. Here's the point. The play calling was better. And you know it, and I know it, and that should raise the question, where was that against LSU? If you want to get mad about that, that's fine. Because I'm irritated. Doesn't make sense. If you want to get irritated that we're wasting eligibility, don't blame you. I'm with you. But the play calling was better. 3 out of 4 quarters. There we go. But the rest of this season, Clemson's just going to have to prove it to me. I'm not going to have any hopes for Clemson for the rest of the season. They're going to have to show me. Yes, I am doubting Brian. I am not going to believe until they put it on the field and put together an entire season, rest of the season, of proving me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll gladly be proven wrong. Because I tell you this, I'm a guy who I just want to predict the right thing and tell the truth. Not my truth, the truth. You know? And you want to be right. Who really wants to be wrong? No one, unless they have some type of mental problem. But I'm sick and tired of being right about eligibility being wasted. I'm sick and tired of being right about having to question if the offensive strategy is going to be Clemson tier or doo-doo steak tier. I'm sick of it. And so I'm going to say this. Clemson, especially their offensive strategy, you're going to have to prove me wrong, because moving forward, unless you are playing the blind kids of Idaho, I'm probably going to lean towards the blind kids of Idaho. Well, contradicting myself there. Probably going to lean towards the other team if they have a pulse of beating you. Florida State right now, see them beating you. Alabama has been torching people since Florida State, including Wisconsin today. And Florida State torched Alabama. So now that game's a big game. You've played 2 good teams out of the first 3 games of the year. You lost to both of them. Clemson loses to good football teams. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll be glad to be wrong here. There's just a sneaky suspicion inside of me that I don't think I will. I don't think I will be wrong, but I hope I am. Folks, if you like what I'm doing, hope you'll subscribe. Go over to the other channel, subscribe there as well, pass it along. Y'all take care of yourself, and as always, go Tigers.